Cooper Marcher here. Today's story is informative because inquiring minds want to know things. Mick Jagger, Elton John, Rod Stewart, Ed Sheeran, Phil Collins, and George Michael all grew up in or near London and have very recognizable British accents. Once on stage, they sing like someone who grew up in New England rather than jolly old England. Yet another example is Adele, who has a very heavy Cockney accent, yet her singing does not indicate her dialect. We see the same thing with other non-American musicians such as the Swedish group ABBA and many others singing in English from various parts of the world. It seems like no matter where you're from, if you're singing in English, you're probably singing with an American accent, unless you're actively trying to retain your native accent, which few groups do. There are several reasons we notice accents disappearing in song, and why those singing accents seem to default to American. In a nutshell, it has a lot to do with phonics, the pace at which they sing and speak, the air pressure of one's vocal cords. As far as why American and not some other accent, it's simply because the generic American accent is neutral. Even American singers, if they have, for instance, a strong New Yorker accent, will also tend to lose their specific accent, gravitating more towards neutral English, unless they are actively trying not to, since some country singers tend to do. Linguist and author David Crystal from Northern Ireland says a song's melody cancels out the intonations of speech, followed by the beat of the music canceling out the rhythm of speech. Once this takes place, singers are forced to stress syllables as they are accented in the music, which forces them to elongate their vowels. Singers who speak with an accent, but sing without it, aren't trying to throw their voice to be deceptive or to appeal to a different market. They're simply singing in a way that naturally comes easiest, which happens to be a more neutral way of speaking, which is the core of what many people consider an American accent. To put it another way, it's the pace of the music that affects the pace of the singer's delivery. A person's accent is easily detectable when they are speaking at normal speed. When singing, the pace is often slower. Words are drawn out and more powerfully pronounced, and the accent becomes more neutral. Another factor is that the air pressure used to make sounds is much greater when singing. Those who sing must learn to breathe correctly to sustain notes for the right amount of time, and singing requires the air passages to expand and become larger. This changes the quality of sound. As a result, regional accents can disappear because syllables are stretched out and stresses fall differently than in normal speech. So anyway, I thought you all should know this. I don't care how they sing. I'm just glad they do. Cooper Marcher here. Ciao.